This podcast is supported by The RealReal. Meet Christine. She loves shopping. And this is the sound of fashion overload. Too many fabulous things, not enough space. So Christine started selling with The RealReal.
I've always loved collecting designer pieces. Gucci bags, Prada heels. But my style keeps evolving. Selling with The RealReal? Game changer. I earn more, and they do everything.
Seriously, just drop off your items or schedule a pickup. We handle the photos, descriptions, pricing, even shipping. You just sit back and watch your items sell fast to our 38 million members.
And I get peace of mind knowing I earn more selling with The RealReal than anywhere else.
Exactly. That's the sound of your closet working for you. The RealReal. Earn more, save time, sell fast. And right now, you can get an extra $100 site credit when you sell for the first time. Go to therealreal.com to get your extra $100. Therealreal.com. That's therealreal.com.
Hi, I am Stephanie J. Block.
And I'm Mary Lee Fairbanks.
Welcome to Season 5 of Stages Podcast,
where we go behind the scenes and beyond the resume.
Join us as we talk to some of the greatest talents from theater, TV, film, and more. And then check out stagespodcast.net for past episodes, merch, and so much more.
and love where you are now.
Hey, listeners. We've done a little bit of research here at Stages Podcast, and we found out that a lot of you who are listening are not actually subscribed to the podcast. So I want you to take a second, and I want you, wherever you're listening, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, whatever, look down and hit that follow button for us. It helps us more than you know. And if you're feeling really generous, go ahead and leave us a review. That helps too. There is so much to discover every day at the Museum of Broadway. Come explore 3 floors of dazzling costumes and props from your all-time favorite shows like Hamilton, The Phantom of the Opera, Rent, Wicked, and many more. It's the only place that you can get up close with Broadway's history from 1732 to the present day and learn how a show is made from Broadway's biggest icons. It's perfect for all ages. The Museum of Broadway is a front row seat and a backstage pass all in one. Visit themuseumofbroadway.com for tickets today.
Oh, her birthday's May 5th. And I was like, she's a Cinco de Mayo baby. Like
Cinco
it
de
just
Mayo.
came.
Yeah, I was born May 5th, 2005 at 5 p.m. on the 5th day of the week. So,
Wow.
my lucky number is 7, of course.
I'm the 10th.
You didn't pick the 5. You
I'm
decided
kidding. It is 5.
against the 5.
Yeah.
While I was researching today's guest, I found myself repeating a phrase. I kept saying, seriously? I had to double check her age a couple of times. She's 19, by the way. She starred in the Nickelodeon series That Girl Lele as Sadie Alexander and the revival of All That, a sketch comedy show also on Nickelodeon. She's the voice of Claudine Wolfe in the animated series Monster High and stars in Gremlins, The Secret of the Mogwai, and Curses for DreamWorks. She has multiple Kids' Choice Award nominations and earned an Emmy nomination for Nick News. She started a streetwear company that upcycles jeans and baby blankets called House of G&G. The company creates wearable art, and a portion of the proceeds goes to support art programs in underfunded communities. She is an actress, a singer, a comedian, a musician, a producer, a designer, a writer. Should I keep going? Did I mention she's 19? Seriously? To top it off, she's making her Broadway debut this April as Patty Newby, a role created for the stage production of Stranger Things: The First Shadow, which is the prequel to the hit Netflix series. It's going to be so much fun. Please welcome this remarkable young woman, Gabrielle Nevaeh.
Gabrielle Nevaeh to stage, please. Gabrielle, would you come to stage?
Thank you for having me.
Oh, we're
Gabrielle,
so
seriously?
happy.
That's all I can say.
Seriously?
Good
Well,
Lord. When do you sleep?
That's very
Yeah.
kind of you. I mean, I get about 15 minutes a night.
That's it.
Yeah. That's functional. That's functional.
I have to ask you, there is a genre here. There's a pattern going on with sort of this horror fantasy thing. Is that something that you've always loved, or you got cast in something and then sort of the industry took note and it's followed a suit, right? There is this thing that follows you about. Do you love that genre?
That's something that just kind of found me.
Mm.
It's interesting that you say that because I actually didn't notice that pattern. I think I kind of grew up noticing the revival pattern, if you will, the
Mm.
reboot pattern. I was on All That, which was a reboot, and then Gremlins: Secrets of the Mogwai was a prequel to the original film. So I did kind of see that pattern. But as far as the horror genre,
Mhm.
myself, I am a big chicken.
Me
So
too.
when I consume media, it's definitely not horror, but I think that the industry and the universe feels my fear. It seeks my fear. Horror in
That's what
that.
it is. That's what
Yeah,
it
I think
is. It's
that's what it
feeling
is.
the fear.
Yeah.
I really want to hear about how the show is going,
Mm.
Yeah.
which must be just so exciting. I'm dying to hear about how that came to you and how that's all going because I can't wait to see this one.
Yeah, so there's so much to unpack here. I mean, first and foremost, I never thought that I would ever have the opportunity to be on Broadway. Growing up, I was a super shy kid. Um, Giving a presentation in front of the class was basically a punishment for me. So Broadway was something that was just so far out of reach. It's like a dream that a kid has that is just so unattainable, like an astronaut or a
Mm.
rocket scientist. It's just never going to happen. So when the opportunity to play Patty came across my table, this is literally how the email went. I got the audition request and I was like, "Oh, Stranger Things on Broadway. Never gonna book this." And then it's kind of crazy how that story played out. So, as far as rehearsals are going, the entire first week I was so nervous. I felt like I was gonna throw up because it's like when you finally reach that childhood dream, that childhood threshold, what do you do at that point? You're
Mm.
constantly climbing, you're constantly trying to, get over the boulders, but now you're at the top of the mountain and you don't know what that's supposed to feel like. You don't know what
Mm.
it's supposed to look like. It's always been an image that's been in my head, and now it's tangible and it's real, and I'm sitting in the room. So, first week, so nervous, thought I was going to throw up. But now we're about week 4, week 5 in, and we're settling in, and the show is really coming along nicely. And I'm so excited for people to see the hard work that we're putting in because
Mm.
it is not easy. The show is not
No.
a hop, skip, and a jump. There is so much happening. It's exhilarating, it's thrilling. I mean, as an actor, I've never had a situation where I finished a scene out of breath, physically out of breath, physically sweating, having an actual human reaction to the
Hmm.
things that I'm seeing, the things that are being said. So I really hope that that translates to the audience, and I know it will because
Oh,
our
well,
incredible
it
writer
will.
Tree Fry is just off the charts. Off.
When you envisioned getting to Broadway, what did it look like to you? Because I had that vision. First of all, it took me your entire lifetime to get, it took me 19 years to get to Broadway. From conception to where we are sitting right now.
Oh my gosh.
But I, of course, had like this visual, this very strong visual of what I thought it would look like, what the rehearsal studio would look like. And it was so different. But there really is this communal feeling, this let's make art together, let's get dirty, let's get sweaty, let's make mistakes. You're all walking in there like your first day of school, and you should feel like you want to throw up because, that means you really care. Did you have a similar sort of vibe to where you thought it was going to be this sparkly, polished thing and it was a little different?
I mean, Broadway in my mind has always been this enormous giant, right? And
Mm.
they're not lying when they say Broadway is the Olympics of acting. So I always thought that it was going to be this big, shiny room, almost Vegas-esque. Everything is large. Everybody is just, high alert, high energy. And in some places it is that, but the actual rehearsal room is so warm and welcoming, and it's a community that I've never had an opportunity to witness on any other
Mhm.
project. Film and TV is a whole different ball game in as far as behind the scenes things. So I kind of had this predetermined notion that that energy goes everywhere. Whereas
Mm.
Broadway, people have each other's backs. Not to say that they don't in film and TV, but that's very much like a solo sport. And this is very much a team sport. So
Yeah.
I never allowed myself to go too far down that road of envisioning myself in the tangible thing because it just felt like something I'd never be able to do. So why would I dare to dream that far? So I never had like a notion of a direct vision, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I was in London last season. I was doing Kiss Me Kate. Stranger Things was on the West End. It was all the buzz. And so I know at the Olivier's, it won not Best Play, but Best Entertainment, which is a category that we don't have here on Broadway. So I'm so interested to know what constitutes best entertainment
I mean, I
or
think that
entertainment.
accurately describes it because it's not just a play. I like to say that it's a mega play, meaning that there are things being done on stage that have never ever been done before. And we're trying to figure it out together. We're trying to see if certain things work and it's going beautifully. But as far as a category is concerned, there is musical elements, but it's not a musical. And there are elements of a play, but it's not just a play. And
Mm,
it's not a television show either, but you almost feel like you're at home watching two episodes of Stranger Things. So it is an event in that sort. I'm
hmm
slow to kind of compare it to Harry Potter and the Cursed Child because
hmm
we're doing something that is completely different. I think that that is the closest comparison that people can kind of make of something that already exists. But I truly think that Stranger Things, The First Shadow is going to change the way that people view Broadway. I think it's going to bring a different type of audience for people who are fans of TV and film and have never been
Yeah.
to a Broadway show.
Hmm.
We're opening the door to that theater world for them. But I think that this is something that is going to truly change the trajectory of the things that are being written, the things that are being challenged on stage. So I would
hmm
describe it as a mega event or a mega play.
Are the Duffer Brothers involved in any way?
Yeah,
They
they're
are. They are.
producers on this. So that's insane. We week two, week one, week two-ish, they kind of bleed together. We had a Zoom call with them, and it was just so surreal to like walk in the room. What they did was they put them up on a big television screen, their Zoom portion. That way everybody in the rehearsal hall could be seen. And it was just crazy to like walk in and see them and be able to talk to them and be able to
hmm
just be in the same vibe as
hmm
creators of this show that I've watched growing up. It was just it's an undescribable feeling to get a chance to talk to, in my opinion, the modern day Spielbergs.
And we will be right back. Have you seen a lot of Broadway growing up? Did your parents bring you to New York to see shows?
So growing up, I my trajectory was academics. So
Mm.
I was very much on the straight and narrow of you will be a doctor, you will be a nurse, you will be something in this realm because that's what the women in my family are. They are doctors and nurses and people of the business profession. So growing up, I didn't have a large opportunity to see theater, but as I got older, that was something that blossomed as well. But it was never the notion of, oh, I that could be me one day. It was just
Hmm.
a enjoyable experience of an audience goer. My
But your
favorite right
dad's
now.
a music producer, right?
Yeah, my dad did work in music, but it was just I'm the only actor in my family, so I kind of created a pathway that was not already beat out for me. So I kind
hmm
of had to figure
Hmm.
that out as I got older. Gypsy's my favorite right now.
Uh,
Absolutely incredible. Went to
yeah.
go see it before we started the rehearsals. 10 out of 10. Absolutely love.
Yeah, suck it
Yeah.
in now because once you're on that same schedule, the last, well, maybe not. I'm speaking for myself, but sometimes the last thing you want to do with your only night off is, go back to the theater. So
Yeah.
you are amidst all of these medically minded people, business minded people, but it had to happen pretty young where you're like, I really am an entertainer. I'm a storyteller. So where did that come from? And did you have to beg your parents or did they see it in you and nurture that?
Yeah, so when I was 10 years old, I was transitioning from elementary school to middle school. And at the time, the best school in the area for academics was an art school, and you had to
Mm,
audition to get in. So I worked for like 3 to 6 months on a monologue, trying to learn what acting was. And mind you, there were kids that had grown up acting, singing, dancing. Like this was their thing. They wanted to go to this school. Like this was their plan. So my parents never thought that I would get in. I didn't think I would get in. But by the grace of God, I did. And that was where I found my love for acting was at this middle school. And as I went to this school, it was around sixth grade, I started to fall in love with theater, and my parents kind of saw this spark in me. So they were like, okay, if you want to do this, you're our only child. We will pour into you. We will take you to Los Angeles and do the whole shebang. So I have very supportive parents. I got very lucky that way. Um, but yeah, it was something that truly spawned from wanting to go to the best school to, become a lawyer or something like that. And now I'm here on stage 8 times a week. So.
Yep. My mom still wants me to be a lawyer, just so you know.
Okay. Yeah.
She's like, I think your acting skills would be so well served
Oh my gosh.
in a courtroom. I'm like, I'm acting. She's, I know, but I
Yeah.
just still see law in your future. But there
Oh,
is such
God.
an adult presence to you. And like my question
Yeah.
was going to be, at 10, the world that we exist in entertainment, it's a very adult environment. So
Yeah.
how did you feel being a 10-year-old, being a middle schooler on the Nickelodeon stages amongst this sort of adult environment?
I mean, I was fine. My parents, I'm an only child, so I grew up around older people.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Mm.
when I did start my journey with Nickelodeon, it was just more of an understanding that it was a job. And I think that did come from my parents of, just reminding me that we need to have fun and we need to still be a kid, but when we're at work, we're at work. And that's all it is. And I think that
Yeah,
I had an understanding of that from an early age. It wasn't like a divide of, oh, I'm a kid in an adult's world. Acting was the most fun thing
it
ever
was.
because it got me out of my shell. I was
Mhm.
such a shy kid. Like I would start shaking if the math teacher asked me to come to the front and solve a problem. So finding acting, and at the same time, I was also not the coolest girl in school. So I was picked on quite a lot. But if I were making the bullies laugh, we had
Yeah.
a connection. So
Right.
comedy and acting was also a bridge for me. So that was the most fun. I had the most fun when I was basically hiding behind someone else,
Mm,
hiding
Hmm.
behind
Yeah.
another
a
character.
A
character.
character.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I was the same way. I was quite shy and very quiet growing
Mhm.
up. And even when we started this podcast, it was really hard for me because I could only do something if I were behind a character where someone else wrote the words. So when the podcast started, I thought, "Oh my God, how am I going to be me in front of, people?
Yeah.
How do you do that?" And I didn't do it till I was in my 50s because I always hid behind characters. So I do think it's a really interesting thing. There's a line between being a character and being out there and being yourself.
Yeah, I think it's so interesting because in my mind, I think we're all always playing a character.
Mm.
Mm.
There's your party version, and then there's the version that you are with your grandma. Like we're
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
always playing a different version of ourselves, and I think that's something that helped me as I turned 18 and now 19 of, trying to figure out who I am now that I'm not in the Nickelodeon space and I don't have certain characters or certain quirks to hide behind.
Mm.
I think that we are just kind of trying to eh, express ourselves through the notion of different characters, if that makes sense. Like
It
we're
does
all,
Totally
make
makes
sense.
sense. Yeah.
And you're
and
and you're very young to be you're sort of growing up in
yeah,
front of people. And
Mm.
I think you have to be somewhat guarded to do that because most teenagers are making pretty stupid mistakes,
mhm,
and if you made a stupid mistake, it's sort of public, right? Because you're
yeah.
out there, and that must be a little bit frightening. And do you sort of have rules around your social media where you share only specific things? And was this an explicit decision or conversation that you had in your life?
I've always been, I'm so much fun at parties. I'm the responsible one. I like things to be in order. I like things to be very clear cut and neat. So as far as things kind of, self-expression and things going wrong in the teenage years and, making mistakes, I was very quiet.
Mm.
So I never had an opportunity to really not mess up, but like get messy, if you will.
Yeah.
Mm.
because I was so focused on the work. I'm very driven and ambitious, so I just
Mm.
figured if this is going to be something to kind of mess with what I'm doing, it's not necessary. Or if I wouldn't want to see it, I'm not going to post it.
Yeah.
So I think I've just always had that consciousness because I am a wild woman, if you will. I'm in bed by 8:30.
You're very multitasking too. Like the
Yeah.
voiceover thing was
Mhm.
happening at the same time when you were on camera. And I'm guessing you still had to like complete general education. So schooling was in there. How was the balance of all that?
It's insane to think about now because
Mm.
when all of that was happening, so there was a point in time, I think it was maybe 2022, 2023-ish, I was doing 6 shows at once.
Oh my
While
Wow.
gosh, Gabrielle.
high school. Yeah. So when I was in it, it didn't feel like a lot. But looking back, it's crazy to think that I was 17 years old, doing
Yeah.
6 shows, worrying about all of these different logistics, and also trying to graduate. So I honestly have no idea how I did it. I think just
Mm.
time management, my parents kind of helping me with, where to go, directioning me, making sure that I was well rested, taken care of, that I had eaten, because some days would just go by and
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
oh, I'm hungry, but I feel like I ate. But they were really, really proactive about that and making sure that I was okay. I had a really great support system with my friends, and I'm also very rooted in my faith. So I think those were things that kind of helped me through that time. And I'm grateful for it because now with Stranger Things, The First Shadow, things are moving all the time. We're juggling
Right.
all kinds of different balls.
Yeah.
But having that background of working 6 days a week from the time I was 13 to now 19, it didn't really phase me. And I think
Yeah.
that that's something that I'm grateful for.
Hmm.
I'm grateful that I had to kind of figure it out at a young age in addition to doing school. It's just something that kind of happened.
One of the things I think really helped you was being an only child
Uh,
because I have an only and
I
Steph
have
has
an
an
only.
only. Yeah. And what I always found remarkable about having an only is he was very mature at a young age. He could easily talk to adults and adapt really easily in adult situations. And I think it was because he was an only. And I
Mhm.
used to ask him all the time, "Do you wish you had siblings?" And he'd be like, "No, I really don't, because I don't want to share my clothes. I don't want to argue over, my stuff." Do you ever wish you had siblings, or do you feel the same way that my kid felt?
I honestly don't think that any of this would have happened if I had a sibling because we
Mm.
kind of just picked up from Florida, moved to Los Angeles, and then now my mom moved with me to New York. So I just don't know how that dynamic would have worked if I had an
Mhm.
older or younger sibling.
Hmm.
But as far as like personal wishes, sometimes I kind of wish that I had a sibling, just in like the moments where I'm like, huh, wish I had somebody else's clothes to kind of like steal out of their closet, or I wish I had somebody else's dessert to kind of pick on while they're not looking. But I don't know. I've always been content with the fact that I was an only child. I growing up, it wasn't really a thought because my parents were always around. They
Yeah.
took me everywhere with them, so I was never alone or by myself, and loneliness was not a undercurrent for me. I had a very happy childhood. So yeah, I never wished that things would be different or I had a sibling. I had a dog for a very long time that was pretty much like a sibling. So yeah,
Yeah.
I hear that. I have three of them.
okay, wow. Wow, wow, wow. Yes, yes.
And New York is treating you well?
New York is fantastic. New York is cold. It is
Yes, you happened to be there when everything dropped. I mean, the weather is
so
cold.
crazy. People are telling me that it hasn't been this cold in a very long time. So I'm like, did I bring it with me?
But you know what? Coming from Florida, I have a feeling it would have been cold
Yeah.
In
regardless. You know what I
California.
mean? Your standard might be a little different. And you are contracted for 6 months? How long is your contract there?
My run is for a year.
Oh,
So
wow.
be here for a
Okay.
minute.
Now
Very
you'll see all the
exciting.
seasons.
Yeah, 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 yeah. We will have a second winter to witness.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, this is a trial run for me. I'm trying to figure out how many layers are acceptable, how many layers will keep me warm outside, but also I won't feel like I'm going to die when I go inside to a restaurant and things like that. I haven't found that ratio yet, but I'm working on it.
I have
When
to
do you
tell you, when your year is starting to come to an end, you
Mm.
must get into Hell's Kitchen. You are perfect for Hell's Kitchen.
Okay,
Perfect.
okay.
Have you
Oh,
seen it
okay,
yet?
okay.
I haven't seen it yet, but I heard it was excellent.
Oh, it's excellent. And you're perfect. You're a lot like Malia Joy Moon.
She
Yes, she
sure
was
did.
amazing. You're a lot like her. You'd be a
Oh,
perfect fit for
awesome.
that show. Get
Do you
on
do
it.
you sing?
I
You,
do. Yeah,
you
yeah,
sing.
yeah.
Great. My next question is, when do you move to the theater?
When do I move to the theater? In
Yeah, do
two
you know?
weeks.
Oh, that's
So
special.
we are holding our breath, holding our hands because we've gotten so comfortable in the rehearsal space. It's
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, we have to leave. We have to leave these rooms. It's so many great memories have occurred at the rehearsal hall. So to leave that is almost, it's sad, but it's exciting to finally be in our space,
Oh,
be in
yeah.
our permanent rooms, be, in the area where we're going to share so many different memories.
Yep.
It's
The Marriott Marquis. I did 9 to 5 there.
okay.
It's a big, beautiful box. I mean, she's a big theater. She's
Mhm.
a little unique in the sense that it's attached to the hotel. So
Okay.
there's like a lobby, aspect to it. But
Yeah.
your crew is divine. Your stage door person is divine. And for a play, you guys have 20 actors, or maybe even more if you've got understudies and swings and
We
whatnot.
have so many people.
It's huge for a play.
Yeah, I don't know the exact number, but what's unique about our show is that it's ensemble driven.
Yeah.
And I've worked on projects that were ensemble driven, quote unquote, but they really
Yeah.
weren't. This
Yeah.
truly, we don't have understudies per se, we have covers. So
Okay.
everyone is on stage all the time. Everyone will always be on. There's no one that's waiting on the side. We don't really have standbys. Everyone is a vital part to the show, and you really feel that. So I think that that's a unique nature of our production is that we are the principals and the ensemble are equally as important, and you
I love
feel
it.
that. And everyone is always on stage, and everyone has a vital role to play. If someone's sick, we're all shifting,
Yeah, 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 yeah,
no
yeah.
matter where you are in the show, it's gonna be a movement for everyone.
Yeah.
So it's something that's very cool about our show.
And so I know it's a prequel. Yeah.
Yes.
And I've watched the whole series. I just loved it. I had so much fun with that show. But so can you tell me a little about the prequel and what
Yes.
happens? Are you allowed to talk about it or?
Yeah, so my character is a walking spoiler. But what I can say is that the show takes place in 1959. It's
Okay.
the Creel family. So we discover in season 4 that Vecna is Henry Creel. So we're going back and finding out how Vecna came to be, essentially. And my character is Bob Newby's sister that we meet in, I believe, season 2, season 3-ish. And it's a wild ride. It's exhilarating. Henry comes to school and he makes friends. It's initially going well, but in true Stranger Things fashion, things go wrong. And we see the blossom of, in my opinion, television's greatest villain. So it's really cool. It's a standalone, it's an original story. If you've never seen Stranger Things, it's absolutely perfect because you're starting right from the beginning and then you can go and watch the series and everything will make sense. And there are things that are correlated down the line that I can't share right now, but when you watch the series, you're going to be absolutely blown away by how they tied everything together. It's just exciting for me as well because I grew up loving the series.
Yeah.
So I know all of the ins and outs of how everything works now being in the prequel. But yeah, it's an exciting ride. It's an exciting ride for sure.
And I'd love to know, because I want to work with Stephen Daldry at some point. Talk to me about him as a director. What sort of environment does he set for the room? Talk me, talk me, talk me, talk me.
Stephen Daldry is fantastic. He is fantastic. He is one of the most creative people that I've ever met. He's a creative genius. There are scenes that when you see the play, you're gonna kind of be like, huh, how did we even get here? But that's just Stephen's genius mind. There was a scene a few weeks ago that we were rehearsing. And Steven had an idea that was absolutely off the charts, would have never thought that this was going to be the decision, but it worked so perfectly. And I think that that is a part of the magic of the environment that Steven creates because it's also open to our interpretation as actors. I've never been asked, "Hey, what do you think?" as an actor. And that's something that's also unique about Steven's direction and his general environment is that it's a team sport, it's a team effort. It's never just the director's idea and then the actor follows. It's always the actor presents an idea and Steven presents an idea and we're going to create a beautiful masterpiece together. So Steven's fantastic. We really hit it off from the beginning, so I'm just honored to be able to work with a legend.
I want to talk a little about your clothing company, G&G.
Okay.
How did that come about? What inspired you to do that? And are you like really a part of designing the actual clothing and the art, that it is?
Yeah, so the House of G&G came to be because I, as an entertainer, collect a lot of clothes. And I was kind of looking at my living room in Los Angeles, and we have these two racks in the living room, and I'm like, how did I get here? How did I accumulate so many clothes? So for my own personal project, I was like, well, what if we repurpose these things instead of getting rid of them? Because I don't really know where they're supposed to go. I don't know how to handle this. So I repurposed a few of my outfits and I was like, hey, this is a really good idea because fashion waste is a really huge issue.
Yeah,
More of a
sustainability.
problem
Yep.
than people talk about. Because it's truly killing our environment. It's killing our water supply. There are so many different issues that are directly correlated with our fashion waste. So this is kind of where the idea spawned for me to kind of dig deeper into that issue and dig deeper into what other people experience. And the House of G&G kind of came from thrifting is a large part of Los Angeles culture. And that was my way of, on a small scale, helping with the fast fashion crisis and helping with sustainable fashion. And I am also, of course, passionate about the arts. So giving back to underserved public schools and arts programs is just a huge part of who I am. And I really wanted that to be reflected in the brand.
And how do you find the schools that you support?
The House of G&G is still in its beginning stages, so we are still working with schools in the Los Angeles area. I have a few organizations that I support. In a Perfect World is one of them, and we work with my organizations to kind of find who needs help.
It's such a cool thing. It's a great
Yeah,
thing to do. Yeah.
absolutely.
Maybe there after the fires in Altadena or the
Mm.
Pasadena area,
Yeah,
Yeah. You're gonna
it's
have a good time thrifting there too, lady. New York has got some
I
fine finds.
I'm trying to stay away. I am trying to stay away and keep my closet small
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I mean, the New York apartments are not large,
No,
but
they are not.
I don't want to end up because I will end up looking like a department store if I get a hold of the New York thrifting.
Have you found a pal? Is there somebody in the cast? I mean, not to betray everybody. I'm sure everybody is so wonderful. But have you clicked with someone that you're like, okay, this is my person and it's going to be great for this next year?
You know what's so unique is that this is an environment that is unlike anything that I've ever experienced in the sense of we all have each other's backs. I
Hmm.
think in TV and film, I was more keen on finding that one person to kind of hold
Hmm.
on to. But this is an environment where everybody is kind of in that clicky mode, in that, we're in this together. I think it's interesting because, there are people from all walks of life that you would never think would get along or
Hmm.
never think would, want to go thrifting or hang out or go to Olive Garden for Pete's sakes. We're right across the street from the Olive Garden. And we just do. I think that week one just to kind of, I mean, if I had to kind of give a story, when I was in that period of time where I was so nervous and felt like I was going to throw up and felt like I was dealing with the imposter syndrome, Louis McCartney, who plays Henry, truly on the first day, I walked in and my call time was after their lunch break. So no one was in the rehearsal hall. I was like, oh my gosh, this room is enormous. I'm just gonna kind of pick a chair that is like non-offensive. I don't want to sit in anybody's spot. So like I sat in the very, very back corner of this massive room. Could have sat anywhere. And Louis came in and he was like, hey, you, and like shouted from across the rehearsal hall and came over, like bounded over to me and hugged me and, just talked to me like had known each other for years. So Louis has been a really great anchor, you know, throughout this whole process. I mean, Juan Carlos, who plays my brother, we always end up matching clothes for some reason. I don't know how. But there are so many great memories that I've shared with everybody in the cast, and I still have uh an outstanding thrifting date with Jamie Mann, who plays Ted in our show. So
Louis came over from the West End, yes?
he did, yeah. So my first day was also his first day, and he actually flew in the night before from London and then
Oh,
started
wow.
work the
Oh,
next
wow.
day. So we were kind of in the same boat, two peas in a pod of like, where are we? What is this? So yeah, we really hit it off first day.
Do you know how many Broadway debuts are actually in your cast?
Over half.
Oh, that's
Wow.
so beautiful.
Yes. So what's another cool thing about it is like when I say that we really have each other's backs, it's like we all are kind of trying to figure it out together.
Mhm.
Because it's either the thing of we came from TV and film and we've never done theater, or we've only done children's theater, or you know, there's so many different stories where the common theme is this is new and we don't know what we're doing, but we're going to figure it out together. So it's a really great mix. And then you have those who have been on Broadway forever, who can look out for us and kind of guide us and give us tips and tricks. So it's a really cool mix.
It's a
Are they
fun
keep
show to debut in, huh?
Oh my
It's a
How
great show
gosh.
fun.
to debut in. Are you kidding
Crazy.
me?
So
Yeah.
great. Are they keeping a lot of the same design and creative choices from the West End to here, or are they tweaking things a little bit?
So what's excellent is that it's kind of two different shows. And I
Talk
think
to
that
me.
it's
Yeah, yeah.
so cool. They actually talked to us about this, that it's two completely different shows, but they're going to be running at the same time. So if you see one in London and
Hmm.
you come and see it in New York, you're not going to get the exact same thing. They've really amped things up for Broadway. The storylines have kind of shifted a little bit. Special effects have shifted a lot to where it's just bigger, better, and brighter, in my opinion.
Mm.
Both shows are great, but they're great for different reasons. And I think that it's going to be cool to see the audience reaction of the differences.
Are you going
Yeah.
to have like a safety call, do you know, before every single show? Is that something you have to participate in, or no, the stage crew will handle that and you can still come in at half hour or hour or whatever you need?
Oh, I'm not sure. I have no
Oh,
idea.
interesting,
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah.
And what is your process? Do you need a lot of time to get ready? Do you like to settle into the theater, or do you do your day? You're kind of a half hour gal, put on the lashes, warm up the body and voice, and away you go.
You know, I like to kind of get there a little early. I like to kind of feel settled, feel rooted in the space, talk to people if that's the vibe, you know,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
um, kind of feel like I'm a real person and then get into the hair and makeup and go. I've always kind of been that way since I was a kid. I think that comes from that was my social time.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's going to help with me now performing live of not being in my head, not feeling like, okay, we're getting ready to go do this big thing and here's the show and it's got to be perfect and we got to be on our A game. Like we're humans, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think
Yeah.
that getting there early for my process, if we're going to call it that, it's great for my mental headspace of opening up those creative channels and just allowing myself to breathe, allowing
Mm-hmm.
myself to relax. So I think I'll probably, once we start previews and start performances, probably get there around an hour, 45 minutes ish to kind of get settled, steam if I want, humidifier, whatever the routine's going to be,
Mm-hmm.
just to feel settled and rooted.
Mm.
You talked earlier about having a strong spiritual practice.
Hmm.
Do you want to
Yeah.
talk a little about what that is?
Yeah, so I grew up as a Christian, and I didn't truly find Christianity until I was much older because it was always that thing of like, oh, I grow up and I go to church and I celebrate Easter and I celebrate Christmas, but I didn't really know what it meant to follow Jesus. So when I hit about 16, 17, I kind of went through a rough patch and started to try and figure out what I was doing. What are we doing here? What is life? What am I gonna do with my life? And how can I deal with adversity in a better way? There was a period of time where I was really struggling because a good friend of mine passed away. And I
I'm
just became
sorry.
really angry. Oh, thank you. But I became really angry and um that was kind of the mask. I don't think that anger is an emotion. I think that it's a protective mechanism. So I didn't want to live my life that way. I didn't want to be that angry person because I'm not that way. You know, I'm personable and I'm funny and I'm fantastic and I wanted to stay that way. So finding Jesus was a part of that journey. And as far as continuing that journey, I think that it's something that I'm still trying to figure out. I'm still learning. I'm still a baby in my faith, if you will. But God has truly blessed me in the sense of I wouldn't be sitting here today without
Yeah.
God. So I'm just very blessed and grateful.
I think anger is a kind of a mask for sadness a lot of the time. I have a yoga girlfriend who said that to me one day. She said, "Boy, you just skip right over sad and go right to angry, don't you? Because you don't want to feel the sad." So I just go to angry because it's a defense, you know?
Yeah,
And she was
yeah.
one of the first people that ever really pointed that out to me. Like, did you ever notice you don't let yourself be sad? You just go right to angry and then you move on.
Yeah,
It's really
yeah. And
interesting.
that period of time was so interesting for me because I was doing 6 shows at the same time and trying to graduate high school. So it's like, I had this expectation of, okay, Gabby's the funny girl. She's got to make everybody feel better and everybody's, she's got to be the jester and, people feel good when I'm around. And I didn't want that to stop because I was sad. But inherently, that kind of had the opposite effect for me of like, okay, I'm angry that I can't actually be feeling this way and I feel like no one's listening and blah blah blah. So through that, Christ really helped me get back to where I wanted to be and get back to myself.
Don't go away. We'll be right back with the 5 questions. If you could wake up tomorrow morning with any superpower, what would it be?
The power to read minds, but only when I get to decide. I don't want to read everybody's mind all the time.
Okay, there's a
I want it to be
switch. There's
like,
an
on
on-off
and off.
switch.
I want to know what they're thinking. Turn it
Yeah,
on.
yeah. Your perfect sandwich.
My perfect sandwich, just a peanut butter sandwich.
Really?
No jelly, just a plain bread, thick layer of peanut butter on it. I'm set. Maybe
No
with a glass of milk.
No
Okay.
fluff?
No, nothing. Just as
Wow.
plain as possible.
Have you ever
Okay.
had fluff?
Yeah, you don't want fluff. I'm here to tell you.
Fluff is
Gabrielle,
the best thing ever
fluff is the
invented.
worst,
Peanut
Gabrielle.
butter and fluff is the most delicious thing you'll ever eat.
Okay.
I think
Don't
it's a
do it.
Boston thing.
Is
Maybe it's a
fluff like a
Boston thing.
marshmallow?
It's like a marshmallow.
Yes.
It's
Don't do
deadly.
it.
Deadly.
Okay. That's a new one. I'll have to
We
try
got
it.
two schools of thought here.
You don't like it, really, Steph?
No, I really don't. I wouldn't mind it with the peanut butter, but if you're going to put just bread on there, now what are you? Are you a dessert? No. Are you a sandwich? No. You're nothing. You're giving me a nothing that
It's
I don't know.
confusing. Yeah.
Okay, let's see. If your life were a book, what would this chapter be called?
This chapter would be called Act 2.
Nice.
Because that's what my life feels like right now. Like everything before this felt like Act 1, and now it felt like the strike was maybe intermission, and now we're going into Act 2, and I don't know what's about to happen, but something exciting is about to go down.
Oh, that's so fun.
Yeah.
So if we're walking into your closet, and it can be theoretical because I know part of your closet's in Florida and LA and here, but if we were to walk into your closet, is there a garment or piece of jewelry that you'll never get rid of because of the memories that it holds?
Oh, the memories. Oh, I'll never get rid of any of my sneakers because I am a big sneaker collector. I couldn't tell you the names of any of them, but I love, just walking into a sneaker shop and like picking out, things that I think look cool. So each shoe has a story for me.
Yeah.
Never any of my shoes.
And I love that you call them sneakers, not tennis shoes. That's
Oh.
another sort of like colloquialism, depending on where you are. Seb, my husband, a native New Yorker, sneakers, California, tennis shoes. And he's like, well, you don't wear these shoes when you play tennis. I was like, are you sneaking? Are you sneaking around in all your shoes? Because that excuse doesn't hold water.
Yeah, that's valid for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. If you were a nail polish color, what color would you be? And what would your cheeky little name be?
Oh no, I have to name myself?
Yes.
Okay. So immediately I thought about maybe a multicolor glitter. I would be a multicolor glitter, maybe funfetti. I feel like
Oh,
that's a
that's
color, but
really fun.
Gaffetti for my name. Yeah.
Oh, that's
I
so
love it. Okay, you're the
fun.
first glitter we've had, and that's a great name for
It
it.
is.
Yeah.
Yep,
It's such a pleasure to meet you. You are such a
truly.
special young human being. Honestly, you're just remarkable.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. I had a lot of fun today. Thank you guys for having me.
Thank
Oh,
you. We're sending
thank
you all the
you.
blessings and good stuff, and welcome to Broadway.
Oh, I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you.
Coming up next, what struck a chord?
Well, first of all, I would just crown her Miss America right now because
know.
of the way she presents herself, how she answers questions, the gorgeousness of her. This is what? What is
I know.
What is happening? When I was 19, okay, let's do this. Let's go down the rabbit hole.
Oh,
Well, you know what? I'm kind of proud of myself.
no.
I was the first singing live action Belle on stage at Disneyland when I was 19 years old. I was what they called the 5-day Belle. So there was a 2-day Belle and a 5-day Belle. And we would do 5 shows a day, then 5 days a week. And I thought I had hit it. I mean, I think I was making like $127 a day. So, you were bringing in $600 at the end of the week after taxes and whatnot. And I thought that was the epitome of everything at 19. This girl's on Broadway. She's a producer. She owns a clothing company.
No, it's it. Yeah, no. And that's what I'm saying. When I was doing research, I was like, seriously?
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 What were you doing? You're 19.
Oh,
College?
I was in college, but I was working. I was waitressing 40 hours a week because,
Yeah.
I paid for a lot of school. I paid for my own apartment.
Yeah.
I I was a very lost 19-year-old. I struggled from probably 17 to my early 20s.
Okay.
I struggled a lot. I had very little guidance, a lot of upheaval, a lot of sadness and anger, and it came out, in different ways. So I was a little wild child.
Hmm.
Yeah, no, I was very different than Gabrielle at 19,
If
But
you were diagnosed now, do you think you would have been classified as like having depression or a clinical anything? Or no, you were
no, it
just
was
trying to
due
figure it out and
to
struggling?
circumstances. It was
Okay.
due to, I mean,
Aha, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
my parents were in the middle of a divorce.
Yep.
College, I was the first kid in my family to ever go to college. So I
Yeah.
had zero, I didn't know. I was floundering. I had some very challenging and difficult experiences around a relative that was, a predator. So I was just such a lost and struggling young woman. I look back at her with so much compassion now. I'm like, you poor thing, but I made it through, right? And those were the things in my life that actually made me stronger and wiser once you get through all those challenging things. But no, I had a lot of challenges when I was
When
young.
you look in the
Could have
mirror, is
went
that
very
the girl you
badly.
see? Because mine
Sorry?
is, when you look in the mirror, is that in your most vulnerable sense, is that the girl that you see?
No,
Okay.
not anymore. Not anymore.
For me, I still see my chapter that was monstrously difficult was 12, 13, 14.
Yeah.
I still see her sometimes.
Do you?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And I certainly hold her with compassion, but there are times where I look at myself in the mirror and it brings up just a whole host of feelings and self-loathing and the dialogue that we would tell everybody not to ever say to themselves,
Mhm.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
my chapter.
Yeah, I mean, I think that was where I learned to skip sad and go right to angry.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That was where
A defense mechanism, for sure.
because someone can take advantage of you when you're sad, but they won't take advantage of you when you're angry and formidable, right? So I just went straight there and became a very tough. It's really funny when we started Will Rogers Follies together. I was sort of just coming out of that phase of my life.
Oh my God.
And
I thought you were in charge. I thought you ruled everything.
Well, it's so funny because Michael Goddard, who we've had on this podcast,
Yeah.
who's an agent now, and he's a dear friend of ours, he tells the funniest stories where he thought when I walked in the room, he's like, you had this long hair and you were smoking cigarettes and you had dressed like a hippie. He goes, I thought you were on the crew. And when he goes, and I was kind of scared of you. You were sitting alone, with this real attitude problem. He goes, and then when we were all going around the room announcing, and you're like, and I'm Betty Blake. And he was like, oh my God, what? How is that Betty Blake? So funny. But that was how I came across. I was tough. Don't mess with me. You know. I would smoke cigarettes to have almost like a shield around me, a smoke shield.
A
Keep
character,
people-
a different
keep people-
version of yourself that you needed at
Yeah.
that time. Mhm.
And it kept people away from me. There was something between me and people, right? Yeah. So that I look back at her with just compassion now, I really do. And also whew, I dodged a lot of bullets because it could have turned out a lot differently for me,
Yeah.
and
She was very insightful when she said, I think we're all different characters of ourselves. And it's true. I mean, at the core, we are who we are, but there are certainly different versions of ourselves depending on
Totally.
who we're. I can hear Sebastian on the phone with somebody. I know exactly who he's talking to.
oh, that's
Whether it's
funny.
the language that he uses or the sort of optimism that he'll give off or the, you'll know. You'll be like, oh, that's Cullen. Oh, he's talking to his mom. Oh, he's talking to Harvey. Isn't that
That's
fun?
so
And he
funny.
knows the same with me. If I'm talking
Yeah.
to my teacher, Jill, my voice teacher, Jill, who's very spiritual and, hey, my glorious one, how is the...
Esoteric.
Yes, I'm all
Yes.
esoteric and hippy dippy angelic and all these different versions of ourselves.
So when I first met my husband, he was he was at my apartment in New York, and he really didn't know me very well. We were just getting to know each other, and my father called, and I get on the phone and I start talking to my dad, and I of course slip right into the, what's up, Dad? Yeah. How you doing? Yeah. No, yeah. So I talked to him the other day, and I have all of a sudden this Boston accent and this attitude, and I hung up, and he was like, my husband goes, what, who, what was that? Who are you? You just picked up the phone and turned it to a different person. I was like, oh, I was talking to my dad. I just slide right into that whole Boston thing when I talked to my dad.
It just happens.
It just happened. I didn't even know that I did it. It's so funny. I can't wait to see this show. Have you watched the TV show? I loved it.
I desperately wanted her to be able to share with us more about not the secrets of the show, but
I
just
know.
the construct of the show, the magic of the show. Because
know.
everything I've heard is you're on the edge of your seat. You don't know where this
I
is
know.
going. There are jump scares along the way.
Oh, I can't wait to see it.
I may have to make an effort. I think I'm getting to New York. It's either March or May. Can you wait until May?
Yeah, I'll wait for you and go with
Maybe
you.
we'll do a date. Yeah,
All right,
let's do
perfect,
a date.
Perfect. Yay. I think she's probably told she's not allowed to,
Oh, of
to give
course.
too many secrets away,
No.
No,
No,
that
that
this
is an
one.
interesting thing. There is a contract, right? So those that were able to see Harry Potter, in that first season, nobody said a word about the magic.
Yeah.
Similarly to this in London, it's like this really fun understanding. It's like we're all in it together and we have to save that magic,
Yeah. No, I can't wait to see it. I'm going to definitely bring my son to see it too, because we watched the show and it'll be
That's
super duper fun.
Super duper exciting.
And this
All
was so
right.
fun doing this at night, which we never do.
Never.
I got to go to bed.
It's very Stranger Things. And so many young people. What's happening? We got to do people over 40. All right. I love you.
I love you too.
Bye.
See you later, old lady. Stages podcast is produced by Mary Lee Fairbanks and Stephanie J. Block. You can find us wherever you listen to your podcasts. Join us on social media pages or sign up for the mailing list at stagespodcast.net. That is also where you will find Stages swag. If you enjoyed this podcast, please share and rate and review the show. It really helps us grow. Big thank you to Noah Kaiserman and Garrett Healy for the original music, and Allison Arns, who has been with us since day one. See you soon.